It is incredibly easy to feel overwhelmed right now. Between the relentless demands of work, the constant alerts on our phones, and the general unpredictability of the world, we often feel exhausted, as if we are constantly reacting to a chaotic environment we cannot control. We carry this baseline anxiety because of a major assumption we make about our own identity. We look at our physical bodies, our bank accounts, and our social status, and we conclude that these external, breakable things represent our complete true selves. Jain philosophy uses a specific term for the physical matter and worldly situations we get tangled in: karma. While the word is common in pop culture, here it refers to the literal particles and circumstances that we falsely and painfully attach our identity to. This creates a strange paradox. Human beings possess profound, self-aware consciousness, yet we allow unthinking, non-conscious matter, like a mechanical failure, a stressful email, or a physical illness, to dictate our absolute self-worth and our inner peace. Worldly suffering is a symptom of a psychological case of mistaken identity. We are suffering because we have lost sight of the actual nature of our own architecture. 1,000 years ago, a scholar named Acharya Amritchandra recognized this exact human crisis. To solve it, he wrote a detailed commentary on the Samayasara, a revered spiritual text. This text identifies Chaitanya Nagar, the city of consciousness, containing Anant Shanti, infinite peace. Amritchandra argues the conscious self possesses 47 eternal powers. Further down, we see Anant Prabhuta, infinite sovereignty. These permanent native attributes have existed within you since time began. The path to peace lies in inward investigation to uncover these 47 hidden powers, rather than an exhausting outward battle to fix the physical world. To understand how this works, we have to establish the absolute baseline of our existence. According to the text, we possess the powers of life and consciousness, Jivatva and Chitti. These powers ensure that the soul lived in the past, lives now, and will live forever. It never degrades into dead matter. Even if we accept we are eternal, we still fear being damaged or altered by trauma. This is why Amritchandra introduces the power of non-interference, or Akaya Karanatva. Non-interference describes a precise mechanical boundary. It states that external objects or events cannot force a change in the soul's core attributes. By the same rule, the soul does not physically alter the external world. What actually happens is a principle of parallelism. The soul and the physical body operate on parallel tracks. They experience reality simultaneously, reacting in sync with one another, but they never actually touch or control one another. When we apply this to human anxiety, the math changes. When a negative event affects your physical body or your career, your core conscious self remains mathematically and physically untouched by that event. Since external events cannot penetrate the boundary of the soul, the feeling of being broken by the world is a self-imposed illusion. We only feel damaged because we identify with the side of the boundary taking the impact. This leads to an obvious question. If the world doesn't actually touch us, why do we feel emotional pain? Why does it feel like we absorb the toxic environments around us? The text answers this with the cleanliness power, or Swachatva Shakti. This is the ability of the soul to perfectly perceive everything in the universe without absorbing any of it. Think of it like a mirror. A mirror can reflect a chaotic storm or an ugly room in perfect detail. The reflection is completely accurate, yet the surface of the mirror is never stained or damaged by the images it shows. The soul maintains this spotless state through a self-sustaining loop known as the 6 karaks. This means the soul is its own doer, its own instrument, and its own beneficiary. It requires 0 external resources to maintain its purity. Empowerment comes from this realization. You can observe the most chaotic, terrifying moments of your physical life with absolute clarity, knowing that your core self is like that mirror, totally unblemished by what it reflects. To pull these philosophical concepts together, the ancient texts use a specific allegory, the story of King Jiva, the sovereign ruler of a kingdom called Chaitanyapur. In this metaphor, the physical body and its surrounding chaos are merely the temporary weather happening outside the city walls. This commentary describes how an ignorant soul spends eternity running out into that storm, chasing after temporary desires. Meanwhile, the soul remains the impenetrable inner kingdom. When a person stops identifying with the external storm of karma and claims these 47 inner powers, the dynamic of their life changes. The role of the victim is replaced by the profound autonomy of a sovereign. The initial sense of human exhaustion comes from trying to fight the wind. The awakened state, by contrast, is defined by inner autonomy and fearlessness, based on the knowledge that your core structure is untouchable. Peace is not achieved by trying to control the chaotic physical universe. It comes from stepping back behind the walls and claiming the indestructible inner kingdom that has been yours all along.